around than ever before thanks to a revolutionary air suspension system that contours the cutter bar to practically any terrain. And with a push of a button, the AirFlex switches to a rigid table. It's perfect for all your crops, including pulses and soybeans. Ask your dealer about the AirFlex or go online to honeybee.ca. Honeybee, harvest faster.
P, get in here. What's this I hear about you not getting into the roots where you belong?
When I get thrown on in the fall, I get fixed in the soil, so I'm not available.
That's why I'm adding Avail Phosphorus Fertilizer Enhancer to the team. You'll get more done, an average of 9.6 bushels per acre of corn. You'll thank me.
Get more out of your fall-applied phosphorus with Avail. Visit sfp.com/breakfast to request a complimentary Breakfast to Serve kit today.
B103 presents Peru State Football. Brought to you by
Vanderveen and Garaki, Syracuse Senior Housing, Lifetime Vision Center, Stutthide Implement, and Valentino's.
It's time for the Peru State College Kickoff Show with a game preview, coaches' interviews, keys to the game, and the starting lineups. Here is the voice of Bobcat football, Doc Wininger and Daryl Obermeyer.
That will be even tougher than last week's game. Friends University comes into the Oak Bowl with a ton of confidence after their 33-7 blowout of Doane College last Saturday in Crete. This is the final game in the Hack KCAC Challenge, a series between neighboring conferences where the teams were matched up based on their conference finish last year. The Cats get a tough assignment as Friends, who finished fourth last year in the KCAC, is picked to win that conference by many of the league's coaches. Big plays and turnovers were a major factor for both teams last week. Friends had several long plays for TDs and forced 5 turnovers. The Cats coughed up the ball 3 times and gave up long plays in several crucial situations. The last time the Cats opened the season 0-2 was 2010. What do they need to do tonight to avoid that fate? We'll be back with a closer look at tonight's game after this timeout. You're listening to Bobcat Football on B103.
You drive a car, you own a home, and you need insurance on both. So why not see if you can save money in the process? I'm Brent Harson of the B. Harson Agency. When you insure both your home and auto with American Family Insurance, you may qualify for a substantial money-saving discount. Interested? Call me, Brent Harson, at the B. Harson Agency today at 402-269-3392.
More Bobcat sports coverage is at B103.FM.
Welcome back to the Oak Bowl. Doc Wininger, the voice of the Peru State College Bobcats, and I'm joined by Daryl Obermeyer. And Daryl, another beautiful night here at the Oak Bowl.
Well, yeah, it really is. It was a frosty start to the day, but right now it's 61 degrees. Humidity is only 33%. Just an absolute tremendous evening for football. It may get a little chilly for the crowd as the evening goes on. South winds are supposed to be about 9 miles an hour and could get down to the mid-40s by the time the game is over. And the crowd's already starting to come in, considering we're 30 minutes away from kickoff. Not quite the crowd we had last week, but a lot of folks tailgating both to the north and the south of the stadium this afternoon, and getting ready. They'll be coming in within about a half hour to watch some football.
And that's what we were kind of wondering tonight, Daryl, is what kind of crowd will we see? Obviously, the big boys up the street are playing tonight at 9:30 on television. But the question is, with the crowd we had last week, what were we going to see this week in the Oak Bowl?
Well, yeah, it tremendous crowd last week. It's too bad it was the loss, because when you get 2,500 people here, it'd have been great to have Peru State come away with the victory. And hope they can redeem themselves tonight, and hope the crowd that comes tonight gets a good show, and hope they don't all leave in the fourth quarter to go watch TV.
Well, that is a look at the scene tonight at the Oak Bowl. It is a picture-perfect night, perhaps a little bit on the chilly side, but a picture-perfect night in Peru, Nebraska, as the sun is setting over the Oak Bowl. We'll be back after this timeout. We're going to take a look at Friends University, and we're going to have a special feature here after the break. So come back, join us after the break. You are listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
No more stuck windows. No more peeling paint. Syracuse Lumber now carries Simonton Assure vinyl replacement windows boasting classic designs and easy-to-use features. A beautiful way to accent your home. Simonton Assure comprehensive warranty covers vinyl, hardware, screens, and insulating glass units so your investment is protected. And with advanced thermal efficiencies, you'll save a bundle on heating and cooling costs. See Simonton replacement windows at Syracuse Lumber.
Life is mobile, and so is Commercial State Bank. Order textbooks, pizza, and check the balance of your account, all without leaving your dorm room. You don't have to change banks just because you are leaving for college. Commercial State Bank offers mobility banking through your mobile device using apps, texts, and mobile browsers. Mom and Dad can transfer money right to your account anytime, anywhere. Get signed up today. Call Commercial State Bank 402-873-6727. Member FDIC.
Now back to Doc and Daryl on the gridiron for more Peru State football on B103.
Welcome back to the Oak Bowl, Peru, Nebraska, where the Bobcats are hosting the Falcons of Friends University. Let's take a look at Friends. School is located in Wichita, Kansas, about 2,900 students. Football team comes in tonight, preseason ranked number 19. I talked to Coach Schneider, and he told me that to expect them to look like Benedictine on offense and Missouri Valley on defense. So, Daryl, that's a pretty potent combination.
Well, it really is. Those are the two teams in the HAC that Peru State seems to have the most difficulty with. So if you get them both rolled into one, it could be a pretty tough football game.
They had 34 transfers on their roster, either from junior colleges or other colleges. The offense last week against Doane only averaged 2.6 yards per carry, 129 yards. Leading rusher was Tyree Allen, 72 yards on 21 carries and a touchdown. Quarterback, though, what a game. 8 of 13, 3 touchdowns, 191 yards, only 1 INT. Leading receiver, Chris Allen, had 4 catches for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. Interesting thing, Daryl, they actually ran fewer plays than Doane and had fewer first downs than Doane, but those 5 turnovers made the difference in the game.
Well, it really is. One of them set up a touchdown, the other one went for a touchdown, and that, there's 14 points right there.
Yeah. You're looking at their defense. They held Doane to 90 yards on 40 carries, just about 2 yards a carry. Held Doane to 10 of 33 passing for 169 yards. A monster game for defensive back Sequente Marks. Keep your eye on him tonight. He had 6 tackles and 2 pass breakups, but he also returned an interception 54 yards to the 10-yard line to set up a touchdown. And returned a fumble 69 yards for a touchdown. Obviously, the KCA Defensive Player of the Week. And the freshman linebacker Josh Lewis had 14 tackles. But, Daryl, that's a monster game for Sequente. That's a season for some people.
Well, yeah, it really is. Josh Lewis, the interesting, is a freshman, and he's the coach's son. So you wonder, well, does he get a little favoritism? But with the 14 tackles last week, he deserves that spot, even as a freshman, to start on this team.
Now, their punter, Derek Rossett, on special teams, is third nationally in punting, 48.5 yards per punt. Also the starting strong safety, so great athlete. He had an interception and 4 tackles last week. Their other special teams, not a lot, only 8 return yards on a kickoff, 1 attempt, only 4 punt return yards on 1 attempt. You mentioned Monty Lewis. He's in his 12th season at Friends. He won 3 KCAC championships at Friends, but he also won 3 KCAC championships at Southwestern. You may remember Southwestern from last year.
That's right.
The Mound Builders. That's where we went and visited him last year. His defensive coordinator's been there for all 12 seasons. So that's a look at Friends. Now, this is normally where we would interview the Daryl, you got one other.
Oh, I just want to say one thing. Derek Rossett, I think is how you say his name. Phil had mentioned he was also the KCAC Special Teams Player of the Week. So 2 of the 3 areas they give awards, Peru State's facing them tonight.
I think you'll see that a lot this year from Friends.
Well, and also he's kind of the Tyler Audsley of that team. He's played strong safety, but last year their quarterback was hurt, and for about half the season he went over and played quarterback. Their quarterback's back, so he's on the defensive side of the ball again.
Now, this is normally where we would talk, have an interview with the opposing coach, a little bit of radio gremlin this week, but we're better off because we'd like to welcome to the booth Chelsea Allgood. And Chelsea, you are the cheer coach at Peru State. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, but the cheer squad has been a part of Peru State football since I was a kid back in the 60s,
That's
growing
right.
up here in Peru. But it's even more than that this year, because not only are they supporting the teams, but also they're going to compete with the other schools in the HAC in actual cheer competition in the sport this year.
Yes, we sure are. On February 14th, next spring, we'll get to go to Missouri Valley and compete for the first time at the HAC cheerleading competition. So we're very excited about that.
Now, are the athletes pretty excited about that?
They are.
The members of the cheer squad.
They're very excited. We have 16 girls, 11 of them are returners, so, very experienced squad. 14 of them will be on the mat at the HAC, hopefully, given we don't have any surprise injuries until then. They're very excited to get started.
Talking with Chelsea Allgood, the cheer coach at Peru State. That is the correct terminology now, right? The cheer coach at Peru State. How long has this been in the making? When did they start talking about a competitive cheer squad at Peru?
I started as an assistant coach in the fall of 2010, and there was some discussion, not too serious, but I'd say about a year after that, we really started to look at it, and then as soon as we joined the HAC, that's when it became a serious goal, and we've been working towards that. We're still working towards the goal of being recognized as an official sport at Peru State College. I believe we're only one of two in the HAC that are still recognized as only emerging sports, but I think that being able to go and compete this spring will definitely be a step in that direction.
So the first one is on Valentine's Day in Missouri Valley, Marshall, Missouri. Are there other competitions then in addition to that?
No, so far that's the only one we have on the books. I'd like to go to one before that, get some experience and see how they do, but nothing official as of yet.
Now, I understand there's a camp coming up that we'd like to talk about.
Yes, there is. We just announced yesterday the details of our fall youth cheerleading camp, which will be held here in the new Oak Bowl, so that's really exciting to get all those little girls on the new field. They'll get the chance to perform at halftime of that game versus Graceland, I believe, and that'll be on October 11th. It's the week after homecoming. Starts at 10 a.m., and anyone who's interested is welcome to give me a call in my office. It's 402-872-2350.
All right, and also, is there a link on the website, the Peru website, that they can go to?
There is. I don't know that one by heart.
Okay.
It's not a simple one, but there'll be a press release coming out soon, and that link will be available.
All right, talking with Chelsea Allgood, the cheer coach at Peru State. Chelsea, is there anything else that we need to know about these athletes tonight? Tell us a little bit about, for example, the workout schedule that they do.
Currently, they're practicing Monday through Thursday in either the late afternoon or early evenings. We also practice on Fridays as needed, depending upon what we have coming up on a Saturday. If we have a routine or a big game coming up that we're going to cheer for. Then they also go over to Cracker Jack Gym in Auburn on Sunday evenings and take part in the tumbling and stunting classes over there. So we're together most days of the week.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. We really appreciate it on short notice. Chelsea Allgood, the cheer coach at Peru State.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back to take a look at the Bobcats in tonight's game after this timeout. You're listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
Nebraska City Utilities wants you to be informed about ways to save energy. Did you know that top freezer refrigerators are more efficient than side-by-sides? And although convenient, water dispensers and ice makers use more energy. Bigger doesn't always mean better. Choose a refrigerator that is the right size for your household. And even though you are still getting by with that fridge you bought 15 years ago, chances are it's using a lot more energy than a newer Energy Star rated one. Might be time to upgrade. Nebraska City Utilities, keeping you informed. Visit nebraskacityutilities.com for more tips.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. A public service announcement brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Let Eastern Associates show you why auctions are a forerunner in marketing property across the nation. Auctions are an aggressive marketing process with competitive bidding that achieves fair market value, all within a time frame you decide. See us on the web at goeaster.com.
Follow B103 on Facebook and Twitter for live scores and more coverage of the Peru State Bobcats.
Welcome back to the Oak Bowl. Doc Wininger and Daryl Obermeyer here. Pregame, Peru State versus the Friends Falcons. And let's get on looking at Peru State. Now, Peru State last week was out-yarded by Midland 370 to 285, but they ran the same number of plays. Each team ran 75 plays, but there was 85 more yards for the Warriors last week. The Bobcats have now, Daryl, lost 4 consecutive games. I mean, you don't really think about that because they lost the 3 to end last year and then the one to start this year. It's been since 2010, that 2-8 season, since the Bobcats have lost 4 games in a row. I mean, really do need a win tonight.
Well, if you put the 2 seasons together, that really does look pretty bad for the Bobcats. But the good thing is they're going to have a lot of home games to start out this season, which should help them some.
Yeah, 5 of the first 6 games here in the Oak Bowl.
Which, considering that they went all of last year plus the last 3 games of the 2012 season not being at home, 14 straight games not at home, and they're starting 5 out of 6 at home. So hopefully that'll get the crowd behind them and get them turned around and get them back in the winning bracket again.
Last win came October 26th of last year against Central Methodist in a game that was played down in Fayette, Missouri. Last week they struggled both running and passing the ball. 6 different ball carriers averaged only 3.2 yards per carry. Aaron Smith, the sophomore from Houma, Louisiana, leading carry on 52 yards on 19 carries. Bo Shepard, 11 of 28 for 109 yards. Ty Odsley was only 2 of 6 for 44 yards. So combined, the quarterbacks also had 14 carries for 49 yards. Those are all low numbers for the Veer. 8 different receivers caught passes. Jake Coughlin was leading receiver with 47 yards on 2 catches, but costly lost there when Leighton Shaquin broke his arm in that second quarter. Peru State defense, Shane Lloyd was the leading tackler with 12. Logan Pabin had 10 tackles. Now, a sign of concern for the 5 leading tacklers last week were defensive backs. You never want to see that. Midland very balanced against the Bobcat defense, 183 yards rushing and 187 yards passing. Alex Wessels recovered a fumble. He had 5 tackles, including 1 for a loss and the fumble recovery. He was our player of the game last week. And Ty Odsley had an INT. Now, you look at the special teams. Tyler Odsley had 5 kickoff returns for 128 yards, 26 yards per return. That was pretty good. And 2 punt returns for 21 yards. Logan Pavin had 2 punt returns for 27 yards. Cody Sullivan had 4 punts, only a 32.2 yard per punt average. And Greg Connery on special teams, 2 of 2 on PATs, but missed that 39-yard field goal late in the first game. All in all, Joe, kind of a tough opener against Midland.
Well, it really was. But that Tyler Odsley special teams performance, I thought, was kind of the highlight of the game. It kind of reminded me of Garrett Campbell. Garrett graduated last year, and maybe Tyler Odsley will take over the kickoff duties for him.
Interesting you say that because we're going to talk to Coach Schneider right now, and the comparison to Garrett Campbell came up in that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
So that's what we think of the Bobcats. Let's hear what Coach Schneider has to say about the Bobcats.
We're talking with head coach Steve Schneider before the Peru State Friends game. And, Coach, a little less activity around the program this week now that we got the Oak Bowl rededicated?
Yeah, that's quite sure of that, Doc. That was a big thing for the college in southeast Nebraska last week, and certainly our players and coaches. But it was a little bit of a distraction. But the ribbon has been cut, and we're using the facility and kind of getting after it. So we're looking forward to a tough contest against Friends University tonight.
And I see recruits as I was walking down here for the interview. So obviously the new facility, something to show off to the young players coming up through high school.
No doubt about it. I think we have some players from Lincoln Pius and Wilbur Claytonia. There's 2 or 3 schools that are here tonight. Coach Coles, Andy Coles is our old line coach and recruiting coordinator. He does a great job of getting student athletes on campus and coaches, and it's pretty impressive facility for high school football players.
Talking with head coach Steve Schneider. Tonight it's Friends University, and pretty tough draw considering both teams were the 4th-place finishers in their respective conferences last year. Of course, it's the Heart of America Athletic Conference KCAC Challenge where you match up against where teams finished last year, and Friends was voted 2nd place in their conference, but only 1 point out of first. 156 to 155, I think, in the coaches' vote. They're getting a lot of respect down in the KCAC.
Oh, they're 2 plays away last year from winning that league. Their Coach Lewis and staff have been together for quite a while. They do a great job defensively. They're big and physical up front, and I hope to shout we don't see a better secondary all year, because those guys are real physical in the secondary and run really well as well. And offensively, they're kind of a run-oriented team. They give you a lot of different formation looks, but they want to run the football and run some clock and kind of keep things in the hands of their defense. Their defense has been real opportunistic last year, one of the top-rated defenses in the country, and this year they got after Doan pretty good. I think they created 5 turnovers, and I think they ran 2 of them back for touchdowns. So 1 interception, 1 fumble, I believe. But you want to be the best, you got to play the best. So we're looking forward to the challenge and kind of excited about the opportunity.
Talking with head coach Steve Schneider. We'll be back with more with Coach Schneider after this timeout. You're listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
You might think they just fix and sell tires at Douglas Tire, but wait, there's more. They also rotate your tires and do an alignment. But wait, there's more. At Douglas Tire, you can get your oil changed, brakes repaired, belts checked, and get a tune-up. And that's not all. Need transmission work? Starter giving you trouble? Bring your vehicle to Douglas Tire. Need a cup of coffee while you wait? You know where to go. Douglas Tire, 1315 Central Avenue, Nebraska City.
Bobcat Football, today's best country, B103.
Talking with head coach Steve Schneider before the Friends game, and Coach, you mentioned the 5 turnovers that they forced against Doan. Starting off with Midland, now Friends, I would assume these are 2 pretty good teams to get you ready for HAC competition.
Oh, well, yeah, there's no doubt about that, Doc. Midland, they had a number of junior college kids that transferred in this fall, and they're pretty stout. I got a text from a buddy of mine. They were head of door 21-0, I think, in the end of the first quarter, a team that they struggled against last year against. But anyway, they're I think Midland and Friends tonight are 2 teams that are probably quite comparable to upper teams in our conference. So hopefully we can take care of business tonight and start conference play next week.
A little bit of the injury bug biting the Bobcats early, which kind of happened to the Cats late last year. Are there adjustments that are going to have to be made tonight as a result of some of the injuries you've had already?
Well, I think the only adjustment that really needs to be made is the guys behind. Leighton Chacon, for example, is out with a broken arm, and Tyler Ford has a neck issue that try to get reevaluated next week. But Tyler's our one of our team captains and leader in the offensive line. Will certainly miss his spirit and the intensity in which he plays. And Leighton, man, for a freshman, what a playmaker he is. But with challenges come opportunities, and our backups, guys behind those guys, have had a good week of practice. They've been pretty focused, and I'm sure they're ready to go.
Tyler Audsley looked pretty good returning kicks and punts last week. Think he's ready to step in maybe where Garrett Campbell left off in that kickoff return?
Oh, sure. Tyler's just a playmaker. I mean, part of the challenge for us is, where do you play the guy, Did a nice job running the offense last year and very capable of taking a kickoff back, a punt back, and he's our best defensive back. So, we will hopefully can contribute to the degree that Garrett did on kicker returns, as you said, Doc. But he's a difference maker, playmaker, and we get a big play on special teams. I think that could be the key in the game tonight. And he'll play defense like he always does, and he'll play some offense too.
I'm talking with head coach Steve Schneider. Coach, good luck tonight against the Falcons.
Appreciate it, Doc.
We'll be back with more after this timeout. You're listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
For an athlete, it's about more than just shoes. Brown Shoe knows it's about the total package, and they got you covered from head to toe. Under Armour headbands, T-shirts and shorts, sports bags, Nike Elite socks in all the hottest colors, and shoes in all your favorite brands. Nike, Converse, Adidas, Asics, K-Swiss, Under Armour, Brooks, and New Balance. Whatever your sport, get your game on and gear up at Brown Shoe Fit, downtown Nebraska City.
School is back in session and fall sports are in full swing. Your life is busy and it's easy to forget about our health. Vision is an important part of health, and poor vision can affect performance in the classroom and on the court or field. Lifetime Vision Center suggests eye exams on a regular basis, and the start of school and school activities is a great time to rule out any problems with vision affecting your child's performance in activities and, most important, the classroom. Put healthy eyes first and contact Lifetime Vision Center in Auburn.
Download the free B103 app in the iTunes Store or Google Play to listen to live coverage of the Peru State Bobcats.
Welcome back to the Oak Bowl, Peru, Nebraska. Doc Wininger here with Daryl Obermeyer. Daryl, now it's time for the Bobcats starting lineups. A lot of shakeups in the line this week. The injury to Tyler Ford, you heard Coach Schneider talk about, devastating to this Bobcat offense. And so as a result, some changes in this Bobcat line. Left tackle will be Joe Hobart. He's from Maize South in Wichita. Big game for him. He's a sophomore at left tackle. Left guard will be Hayden Krautner. He's a sophomore out of Ralston High School. Matt Miners, the senior from Benson, will anchor that Bobcat line. Dylan Brueggemann will be your right guard. He's the 6'1", 315-pounder from Lincoln High. And where Tyler Ford was, you'll see Bo Godwin. He is a senior from Cottonwood, Arizona, but really a major loss to the Bobcats to lose a starting lineman like Tyler Ford, preseason All-American, in that right tackle. The wide receivers are a freshman and a sophomore. Jacob Coughlin, who is out of Omaha, he's 6'2", 190 freshman, had a good game last week. John Frink, the sophomore out of Logan View, is the other wide receiver. Bo Shepard will get the start at quarterback. He's a junior out of Gretna. Nate Trombley is at 1 at the right halfback. He's a junior out of Lincoln Southeast. And Marcus Spearman, the senior out of Platte City, will be the left halfback. Fullback is Aaron Smith, a sophomore out of Houma, Louisiana. And Andrew Robinson, the freshman out of Imperial Beach, California, gets the start at tight end. On the defensive side of the ball, Darion Richardson, a senior out of Belleville, Illinois, is one defensive end. The other defensive end is our own John Drager out of Syracuse Dunbar Avoca High School. He's a junior at 6'2", 235. Matt O'Neill, the big sophomore nose guard, he's from Thousand Oaks, California. And then your linebackers, middlebacker Nevada Harlan out of Maize, Kansas. He's a sophomore. Weak side linebacker Cody Piotrowski from Mishawaka, Indiana. He is a junior. Shane Lloyd will be your roverback. He is from Ridgecrest, California, a senior. Ben Watkins is your buckback out of Burke High School in Omaha. He's a 6'3", 205-pound junior. Your safeties are Briar Burr, the junior from Wood River, and Cody Sullivan, the junior from Norris. The corners are both also juniors, Tyler Audsley from Prescott Valley, Arizona, and Logan Pabin from Columbus, I believe Lakeview High School. Your specialist tonight, Greg Connery, he's the kicker, the junior out of Harlan. Cody Sullivan is still listed first on the depth chart as your punter. And your long snapper and short snapper both, Alan Barnes out of Elmwood Murdoch. Well, that's our starting lineups, and we will be back with our keys to the game after this timeout. You're listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
Starting college at a big university is not the right fit for everyone. That's why many students spend their first 2 years at Metropolitan Community College. You can earn credits in nearly 150 general education courses, then transfer those credits to a 4-year university. And credits at MCC are nearly a third of the cost. Get started today. Go to mccneb.edu/firstchoice. Classes begin December 1st. Metropolitan Community College. 40 years of excellence.
Sorry I'm late. Got held up at the pharmacy. Took forever.
That gets so frustrating. So glad that never happens for me anymore.
Yeah, right. Good one.
Really, I'm not joking. Since I started taking prescriptions to my locally owned USAVE pharmacy, their friendly pharmacists and staff understand my time is valuable. Work hard to fill my prescriptions in 10 minutes or less.
That would be nice.
Mosier's USAVE and Cody's USAVE. Healthmark pharmacies, caring for you and about you.
Back to more Bobcat football on today's best country, B103.
Welcome back, and now it's time for our keys to the game as we get close to kickoff. First key to the game, Daryl, can the Bobcats find their running game? Only 3.2 yards per carry last game. Friends gave up only 90 yards on 40 carries. Very little rushing production after the first quarter. Passing game is primarily play action, so the Bobcats have to have a successful running game. Our second key to the game is, can the Bobcats disrupt the Friends passing game? Aaron Hansen has the #1 pass efficiency rating in the country. 8 of 13 with 3 touchdowns and 191 yards. Okay, Chris Allen, big game, 4 catches, 128 yards and 2 touchdowns. Friends averaged 24 yards per completion. Bobcats gave up several big plays in the passing game, and Midland completed more than 50% of their passes, so the Bobcats have to find a way to ground the Falcons. Finally, key to the game, who wins the special teams battle? Friends' major weakness in Doane game was defending the kickoff returns, giving up 36.6 yards. Tyler Adgley averaged 24. Friends averaged almost 50 yards per punt. The Bobcats only 32. So who makes the special team plays? We'll be back to find that out. And for the kickoff after this final timeout, you're listening to Bobcat Football on B103 Sports.
For an athlete, it's about more than just shoes. Brown Shoe knows it's about the total package, and they got you covered from head to toe. Under Armour headbands, t-shirts and shorts, sports bags, Nike Elite socks in all the hottest colors, and shoes in all your favorite brands: Nike, Converse, Adidas, Asics, K-Swiss, Under Armour, Brooks, and New Balance. Whatever your sport, get your game on and gear up at Brown Shoe Fit, downtown Nebraska City.
School is back in session and fall sports are in full swing. Your life is busy and it's easy to forget about our health. Vision is an important part of health, and poor vision can affect performance.